All right, welcome back to the program. Joining us now, the MVP of Super Bowl XXVIII. There he is, Hall of Famer and all-time NFL leading rusher, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt, welcome back. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, buddy.
We're doing great.
Excellent.
Doing
Excellent.
great. Great to see you as always. So Super Bowl week, and you played in and won 3 of them. What's the first memory that comes out for you as we get closer and closer to the big game?
Well, in my very first Super Bowl, it was such an exciting moment, and I had an out-of-body experience, meaning that 6 years prior to '93, I was sitting in that exact same stadium, which was the Rose Bowl, with my best friend Johnny Nichols, and I was a senior in high school. And I was out there watching the Super Bowl. The Giants played the Denver Broncos, and I'm sitting in the stands and I'm watching this game, and I'm getting all excited as football players would normally do when your environment's like that. And I turned to my friend Johnny. I said, one of these days I want to play in the Super Bowl, and I want to play in the stadium. Well, when you go to an SEC school at that time, you rarely have a chance to go out west and play in the Rose Bowl, because the Rose Bowl was reserved for the Big Ten and the Pac-12 or the Pac-10. And so at this time, 6 years later, I'm drafted by the Cowboys, and we played in our very first Super Bowl, and it happened to be in the Rose Bowl. And Johnny Nick happened to be sitting up in the stands watching me play in that Super Bowl. So it was an out-of-body experience. It was such a great experience because it's the biggest game of my entire career at that time. I done played in state championships and played in a few minor bowl games, et cetera, et cetera. But when you play in the Super Bowl, it's the ultimate game of professional football, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, when we think back to that Cowboys team of the 90s, how great it was, it happened so quickly. And when you got drafted, this was a 1-15 team. Like, what was your first thought about what you were getting yourself into getting drafted by a 1-15 team?
I didn't even care. I mean, I was just so excited to be drafted in the first round. And what made it even sweeter was I was drafted by the team that I always wanted to play for, which was the Dallas Cowboys. So for me, I didn't even think about 1-15. It never dawned on me about them being 1-15. When I got here, I saw Jimmy Johnson here. I saw Irvin. I saw what they were trying to do. I felt like Jimmy Johnson was going to turn this thing around. He was a winning coach in college. He had a bunch of young players that he was molding and shaping into the team that he really wanted to have. And I just bought into the system, bought into the program. And that just had a feeling and belief that we were going to be pretty good. I mean, how can you not be good when you have a quarterback like Troy Aikman? How can you not be good when you have a wide receiver like Michael Irvin? And then you start to see other players that you really didn't know much about, but you knew that Jimmy was a winner and he was putting together something pretty special. And once we started winning, when we went 11-5 in my second year with North Turner at the quarterback position, we gained confidence in ourselves. And not only that, but we've made up our mind after we got beat by Detroit that we was going to go further than what we did this in 91. And we came back in 92 and went all the way to the Super Bowl.
You know, you talked about, 92, that Rose Bowl experience, everything like that. I could still remember that old clip of like you and Michael Irvin in the end zone talking like before the game going, man, this is big, right? I'm sure you remember. But Can you talk about, like your emotions before the game, everything? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Do you want to throw up? Like, how did Emmitt Smith handle those situations?
I had major butterflies. I would say anxiety was at an all-time high. There was a little bit of nervousness underneath it. Because Buffalo at that time had lost 2 straight Super Bowls. So the question would be in the back of one's mind, okay, will today be one of those days that they get over that hump?
Right.
And then you have to go back and ask yourself, why am I thinking like that? I gotta say in this. And so I gotta do my job. And so, but yeah, even walking out of the stadium and walking onto that football field, there was a sense of nervousness, but excited nervousness. There was a sense of joy because you're playing at the biggest stage. And for me, I've always felt like the bigger the stage, the better I'm going to perform. And so on this stage, the world is watching, not necessarily just the country, the entire world is watching. And you wanted to give your best performance. And luckily for us, Buffalo made it easy. They turned the ball over 7 times.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, they made it very easy.
Yeah. They definitely made it easy. Okay. So now, like, we got, Brady and Mahomes, right? Mahomes going to his 2nd Super Bowl this year. Brady going to his 150th Super Bowl. But can you fast forward to, like, all right, you talked about Super Bowl, the first one. Now it's the next one, Super Bowl, the 29 or 28 against the Buffalo Bills, the one you're the MVP of. How much different were your nerves in that game as compared to that first appearance?
Completely different. Completely different. First of all, we knew our opponent.
Right.
Knew him very well. And completely different in the context of the newness had worn off. And so you start asking yourself, why am I not as excited or as emotional, or as my anxiety is not as high as it was before? Well, you come to realize you've been here before, and it's like another game, but it's not another game. And so you have this sense of calmness over you, and you're going into the game and you're pinching yourself trying to figure out what's going on. Why don't I feel like I did last year? Well, it's all because of experience. Having that experience calm things down to the point where you're worried that you're not as excited as you once were before. And that's when you realize that the game is a normal game, and it's all because of experience. You just got to go out there and play and execute. And for Tom Brady, who's been in now 10, he's probably pitching himself like, well, he's probably more nervous now because he's with the new team.
Right.
And he's like a new kid right now. So, but he knows how to play the game. He knows what his experience level is like, but it's different because he's with Tampa Bay. He's in uncharted territory, and that makes a difference.
Last year, Emmitt, we had you on set and we talked about your record, and you explained that you want someone to break your all-time rushing record while you're around to celebrate it with him, because you said how much it would have meant to you to be able to celebrate with Walter Payton, and he wasn't there. I'm looking at the running backs in today's game across the league. Is there anybody out there that you've kind of flagged as this could be the guy who eventually breaks my record?
It's too early. It is too early in the game right now. Frank Gore is the guy that's still out there running. And, he's inching closer and closer. But, it's just too early to tell in terms of all of the young backs that are out there. Derrick Henry just went over 2,000 yards this year. And so he's quickly moving up the ladder himself. But it's just too early to tell right now. I would start looking at it when players starting to get into 13,000 yards. Once you get to that 13,000 yard mark, we'll see where you are and how your body's feeling, how you're holding up, and whether or not the team continue to believe in you and give you an opportunity to go and do something pretty special.
Ezekiel Elliott started off his career very, very strong, and he's dipped the past couple of years, but he's still playing well. It's just he created a bar in his first couple of years that's hard to match. Where do you see his career breaking as he goes forward? And what does he maybe need to do to get back to where he was early in his career?
Well, one, he has a whole year to allow his body to recover from COVID, because he started the season off last year with COVID, and no one knows how COVID really impacts a young player's body. So he has a year to recover from that, and a whole offseason now to focus on some of the things, the little things that he did not do so well, like protect the football like he did last year. This past year, he fumbled the ball quite a bit, so he has to learn now, go back to the drawing board. I think he's going to be fine. I think we definitely need to upgrade our offensive line to give him a little bit more help. And I think having Dak Prescott back and just the newness of the things that we need to do as an offensive unit to continue to improve upon that offense during the offseason is going to be critical.
All right, I want to go. I mean, listen, I grew up with you. I mean, you made me cry in '93 with the shoulder injury game and costing the. So I got to go back down.
You literally did not cry when I ran over you guys with that shoulder.
I mean, I was known to cry after a tough loss there with my dad's career every now and then.
Yeah, you felt bad for your father. That's what it was.
Well, exactly right. There's no doubt. I wasn't feeling bad about you. I was not at all. I was sick of you by the end of that game, but. Your 3 Super Bowl championship teams, which one was the best one in your eyes?
The best one was the 92, the second Super Bowl year.
93.
I think, 93 team was the best team by far because of the depth that we've had on our team. I mean, we were solid. I mean, solid. I mean, we were very experienced ball club. We had upgraded in certain areas, and we just had everything. I mean, man, we were good.
I know.
We were very good.
Well, my dad always talks and says that your 92, 93 teams were the best teams he ever played against in his NFL career. I want to know what your career, that NFC East was amazing. Of course, the 49ers, the Bills, all that. What was the best team Emmitt Smith ever played against in his career?
Wow. Best team?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's kind of hard to say that because I mean,
I know
I can go to best defense.
Yeah, okay, fine. I have a feeling I know the answer to this one, but go ahead.
The best defense I think I've ever played against was the Philadelphia Eagles defense with Buddy Ryan and Reggie White. I mean, that Bear defense that they ran up against us the whole time to shut down our run. I mean, I'll never forget my rookie year when they sacked Troy Aikman 11 times in one game. and I'm blocking my guy, and boom, he's getting hit. I'm like, oh, what's happening back there? It was a meeting at the quarterback, and I felt bad for him. And so, but Buddy Ryan and that Eagles defense in the early 90s was something to compete against.
Yeah. You know, I think back to those 92 and 93 teams. You know, if the Chiefs win on Sunday, all the talk next year will be, can they get 3 in a row? Do you think you guys would have gotten to 3 in a row if Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones had found a way to keep working together?
It's possible. That's all I can say. It's possible because I don't think we would have had to deal with the distractions that we had to deal with. I don't think that I don't know if Jimmy would have let up off of us. He would have kept his foot on the pedal, which probably would have drove us all into the ground because he worked us so hard. But I think the expectations would have been there. Just dealing with things that we were not accustomed to dealing with would have made a difference. I think the work ethic probably would have been there. The focus would have been there. The commitment would have still been there because Jimmy would have demanded that the commitment be there. But it's kind of hard to say. But those are the things that I think would have changed. I think with Barry as good of a coach as he was, and I respect Barry so much because the difference between the two is Jimmy had his thumb on the team. Barry was a guy that said, you guys have won 2 Super Bowls. You should know how to prepare now. You are to be mature enough to handle this. There's nothing I can say to change or to motivate you to go out on that football field and do your very best. You're getting paid a lot of money. I expect you to do that, and you should expect that of yourself. And I respect that because what he was saying is you guys should be professionals by now. There's nothing I can say. This thing is already intact. Your offense is still the same. Your defense is still the same. Special team systems are still the same. Nothing has really changed except for the person that's at the top making key decisions when there's a need for me to make a key decision. And he was absolutely correct. And so when we lost, we felt so bad that I think every man on that plane ride back got refocused. It hurt so bad. And we realized that we allowed one to get away. And I think that's the reason why we bounced back so quickly and came back and went for our third one and ended up winning that. And we won that by a squeaker because our team was not as good as it was in those previous years.
Right. I was there. You're right. Last thing, because I know you got to go, and I want to talk about this tequila you're selling here because it sounds good. But, oh, baby, I remember that looks good. I like tequila. But was that the most devastating loss of your career? I mean, because that was a game where, I don't know, I was a young kid. I still remember going, I think you guys were better. You kind of just screwed it up early on and got in the hole. But was that the most painful of your career?
I don't know if it was the most painful one. Because I wasn't completely healthy. I was dealing with hamstrings that year. My hamstrings when I played in the NFC Championship game, I had electrodes on my and pads on my hamstring, getting treatment in between series.
Ooh.
And by the fourth quarter, my hamstring completely shut down and I could not function as a running back. I just couldn't do it.
Right.
And so it was a disappointing loss. I don't think it was the most painful loss. I mean, there are games, I mean, we got beat, literally. You turned the ball over. Painful losses are those ones when they kick a field goal. Miami in the snow.
Oh, the Leon Letts fumble game. That one hurt. Yeah, we remember that one.
Yeah, I remember a game in Houston in overtime when I fumbled the ball. That was painful. That was painful because I cost my team the game. That is painful. But the game against the Niners, I don't know if that was, I mean, I shed tears because I felt bad about not being able to complete the game and be with my teammates. But I felt reward because our team never quit. Our team never quit and we fought to the end. And that part made me very proud to be a part of that team.
Emmitt, tell us about that bottle you have there and give us the advice on the best way to drink it.
How about drinking it responsibly? That's number one.
That's
number
good.
Number two, drink it with a bowl of ice. I love my tequila Herradura, and this is Ultra that I'm holding up right here. They have so many different brands, Legends, and on and on. But I like mine neat with a ball of ice, not little cubes, a ball of ice or a square. And you can have it in a margarita, you can have it in a Bloody Mary, you can have it any way that you want it. But this, I like mine's clean and neat, just like this, just like it is right now. I don't want to add much to it. So that's just me, but you can have it the way you want it. You can treat it like Burger King, have it your way.
Well,
we're both tequila drinkers, so we'll get into it.
Yes, please do. Enjoy the game, drink responsibly. And if you're going to celebrate responsibly, but make sure that you celebrate with the right type of tequila. Tequila Herradura.
All right, Emmitt. Hey, we appreciate you, man. Great stuff as always. Congratulations on all your success. We look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.
You the man.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.